Power of Positivity with TKJ.
Super greetings to everyone. My name is Tumelo Kuba, aka TKJ, homegrown radio, the power of positivity. Today I'm super blessed. I'm joined by Merelda Bashiri, all the way from Rodport. How are you doing, madam? Thank you so much for coming.
I'm good, thanks, Anu. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the Power of Positivity, because I've been looking for you. Finally, today you're here. Yeah, okay, so basically, Merelda Bashiri, she's a drug counselor, recovery coach, and a graduate of Dr. Gabel Masterclass, and she's a former worker or former employee of Tranquility Clinic. For you guys who have been watching Mocha Love, channel 157, you know her very well. You guys who have been taken to Tranquility, you know her. She has been doing an amazing job. So today she's here at Homegrown Radio, the power of positivity. Again, welcome, madam.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. So basically, we live in SA. And in SA, we've got a lot of socio-economics. We've got a lot of situations that are happening. So one of them is drug abuse. So for someone else right now who doesn't understand what is drug abuse, can you please elaborate? On that? What is drug abuse?
Okay, so abuse of anything is overuse of it. It's overuse.
Yeah.
90% of the time, children in between, let's say, the ages of 13 and 15, get together, they want to try a drink or a drug.
Yeah.
In that group of 15, right, there could be 5 people who have the predisposition to addiction. They don't know it until they ingest their first substance.
Yeah.
That's what sets off drug abuse, is the ingestion of the first time you ingest a substance. So if, when you think about it, let's say 13, 14-year-olds, they get together, they buy a bottle of whiskey or whatever. Out of those 10 children, 5 of them could have the predisposition to addiction. They will not then stop. The disease has been set off inside of them. It's called the phenomenon of craving. It's been set off inside of this child. And until this child ingested this thing, it didn't know that it had the predisposition to addiction. So when they look at their lives, round about when they're 30, they remember the people that they first had the drink with. 5 of them have got no issue with alcohol or drugs. They do. That's basically what sets off the disease of addiction. So we call it drug abuse. It is abuse of a substance. But on a deeper level, this is actually an actual disease.
Actual disease.
It's a disease. And the American Medical and Dental Council coined it as such in the early 1950s. Hence, today our medical aids pay for rehab because this is a disease. It's a threefold disease. It's a disease of the mind, it's an allergy of the body, and it's a sickness of the soul. So the mind of the addict doesn't think like normal people do. It doesn't do. Addicts are very obsessive people. We obsess about everything. We blow things out of proportion. We are physically allergic to drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol does something in our system that it doesn't do in a normal drinker. It doesn't do it. It does it only to us. And then the sickness of my soul. My soul is so sick that if my mother doesn't want to give me money for drugs, I will attempt to rape her. This is someone that I have worked with, an 18-year-old boy. His mom had no more money for drugs. And he attempted to rape his mother because she didn't want to give him money. That's the sickness of the soul. That's the threefold of this disease.
So now, these things are happening in South Africa, where you find a son trying to rape his own mom.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. Okay, when I was doing my own research and trying to find out what is happening in the world of drugs and everything, so I came across with this quote that says, drugs take you to hell disguised as heaven.
Absolutely.
So can you please elaborate on that?
So let's look at a 13-year-old. Let's take a 13-year-old for instance, who has the predisposition to addiction. First of all, they have very low self-esteem. Secondly, they feel like they don't fit in. They're always on the periphery of the circles in society. Somehow they just can't find their place. It's a thing with us addicts. We can't seem to find our place until I have my first line or I have my first hit. then the world feels like I own it. And throughout the addict's life, they will chase that feeling that they got the first time they used. Unfortunately, you can only be a virgin once.
Once, yeah, true.
Right? Once your virginity into addiction is broken, you will never ever get that first high that you ever got. So you constantly have to up how much drug. There we go.
So that you can get to that level.
There we go.
True.
There
true.
we go.
Okay. I once heard that you were once drug addict.
That's right.
So so can you please tell us what substance you were taking that time?
So I was addicted to what is called opioids. It's medication. It's pain medication. I was addicted to pain medication. It's weird. I had a whole lot of unnecessary operations in the early part of my life, and I'll tell you why. The first time I went under anesthetic, and I got the taste of pethidine and what pethidine can do to you, I became addicted to the high of having operation. That's how sick this disease makes you. You will actually go under the knife in order for you to get the feeling of what the anesthetic does to you. But I had to stop having operations, so I started using pain medication. And even though on the outside, my life looked like it was manageable. Manageable in that I had a business, BMW, double story. That doesn't look like an addict. It doesn't mean I wasn't an addict.
True.
Inside, outside looked fine, but inside was absolute chaos, constantly angry, hateful, all these things. Until my sister took me to rehab in 2009.
Okay, before we get to solutions and how we can resolve such problems in South Africa that we're facing. Okay, so personally, like, how did you realize, okay, I'm addicted now?
So my sister's in the medical profession, right? And she had been watching me over the years using this medication. She'd been watching me. And towards the beginning of 2009, because of the amount of pressure I had put on my kidneys by taking this medication when I didn't need it, my kidneys were failing. And my sister came up, she was in Margate, she lived in Margate. She came up from Margate and she told me, I think I'd lost 20 kgs in 1 month because my kidneys were packing up. And that's when she sat me down and said, you know what, you have a problem. And I was still in denial. I told her, there's nothing wrong with me. My children are in private school, whatever. I don't have a problem. And she asked me, go to rehab. Go to rehab for 1 day. And if you can't make it, then fine, I'll leave you alone. The day I got to rehab, I didn't have my drugs with me anymore. I began to scratch like someone with leprosy. I felt like I was going insane because I didn't have my drugs. And that's when I realized that I have a problem. But a family member had to do an intervention for me because I couldn't see the chaos that I was creating, not only in my life, but in my children's lives.
Yeah, so and I was heading there. How did it affect your kids
Very
that time?
badly, very, very, very badly. They were petrified of me. I was always angry. Always angry. My kids were petrified. Today we talk about it and we laugh about it because I've been clean for 13 years.
Yeah, because like I was supposed to ask,
no.
why like you were always angry?
Why was I angry?
Yeah.
I was angry with me.
Oh.
That makes me angry with the world. The reason why most of us become drug addicts is because we have an unhealthy relationship with ourselves. This makes it impossible for me to have a healthy relationship with another human being because my relationship with myself is so toxic. I hate myself because I hate feeling like I don't belong. I hate the fact that I need drugs or alcohol to make me fit in, to make me have a conversation with you. I hate it. But I can't stop it. I can't stop it.
Oh, as like Eleanor said, that we live in South Africa and drug abuse is one of the socio-economics. Yes. And now we've seen a lot of young people, some of them, like their dreams, they have visions about their own life, they have goals, personal goals. But now due to drug abuse, some of them, now they're living like life that is so hard to believe, and at the same time, like that life, it is hard for you to watch as a parent or or as a sibling, because now it's so painful to see my brother there at streets trying to get some money from people, picking up the like pieces, trying to get wood, trying to get steel just to go take it to the street, like to scrapyard. Like, you see what I'm talking about. So what are the causes of drug abuse in South Africa according to your perspective?
Okay, so based on the man I studied under, Dr. Gabo Mate, the masterclass that I did, the gateway to addiction is childhood trauma.
Childhood trauma.
That's the gateway to addiction. A trauma. So again, we need to go back to a child that has the predisposition to addiction. If that child experiences childhood trauma and that trauma is not healed, 99% of the time that child will pick up drugs, right? So when we hear the word trauma, especially here in South Africa, the first thing we think is physical abuse and sexual abuse. Yes, those are extremely traumatic things that happen to children. But there are other underlying traumas that happen to a child. Being bullied at school.
It's a trauma also.
Massive trauma, especially for South African boys. Especially because I'm a 6 or 7 year old boy. I'm being bullied at school. I can't go home and tell daddy that I'm being bullied. What's daddy gonna tell me? Daddy's gonna tell me, stand up for yourself. So I have nobody to tell how I'm feeling until I meet my friend, the drug. And the drug makes me feel like I've come home.
Okay. Basically in life we've got spiritual health, mental health.
Yes.
So how does it affect you mentally?
Drug addiction or drug abuse, how does it affect?
Like drugs. Because now remember, drugs take you to hell as disguise of heaven.
Yes.
So now I'm trying to understand, like, mentally, like, how do you realize, okay, I'm mentally disturbed due to intake of drugs?
That's the problem. I don't see myself as being sick. Only you do.
Or only people outside can see, okay, you've got a problem.
I can't see it. According to me, there's nothing wrong with my life. You have a problem, not me. What's my problem? We remain in denial until we get to a point that we call rock bottom, where we feel that we can't do this anymore. That's what breaks denial. But you can do whatever you want to me. Whilst I'm in denial, I will not listen to you in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, last time when you were talking, you said drugs can disconnect you from God.
Absolutely.
So, and automatically when you are disconnected from God, you disconnect from people here on earth. So, tell us, how does it affect the relationship between you and God, drugs?
So, the thing is this with an addict, that's an active addiction, that's what it's called. I think I'm God.
You think you are God?
Absolutely.
At the same time, you're disconnected from God.
Yeah, I think I'm God.
From the real God.
Yes.
Okay.
No. It's all about me.
Yeah.
Right? The ego. It's all about the ego.
Yeah.
When you are disconnected from God, you are in ego. The disconnect from God is as a result of man's ego. So whilst I'm extremely egotistical in that I believe my family owes me something. I believe the TV on the wall belongs to me.
Or that is why now you take them.
Absolutely. Why did you put it on the wall? You left it there for me to take. This is my justification.
Yeah.
So I can steal the house flat. I mean, I know of clients that I've worked with that have taken 4 wheels off the family car and gone and sold them for drugs.
Okay. When you speak about parents and kids, last time you also talked about that there was a lady in Cape Town who killed her own son.
Yes.
She would like she had enough.
Yes, the Ellen Bucky story. You can find it on YouTube. It was on Showmax for a long time. This is a coloured woman that lived in the Cape Flats, and her son started using and selling crystal meth, and he terrorized her. He set her house on fire. He tried to rape her. And she had gone to every single government department to get help, and she just couldn't. And one morning he came back. She built a room for him, a shack for him on the outside, because she couldn't have him in her house anymore. And he was sleeping, and to her, This is what she said. He looked so peaceful. This is the son that she remembers. She went inside, she got a whole lot of rope, she tied it around his neck, and she just found herself pulling.
Oh my God. That is so sad. Yeah, I think that this took place here in South Africa.
Right here in Cape Town.
Yo. This is so sad because I never thought one day we're going to come across with such a situation where a parent killing his own son.
Listen, young man, when
Yeah.
I sit in a family session, do you know what families tell me? I wish my son was dead, at least I know where to go visit him.
So drugs automatically can kill you while you're still alive, in a way that people, they prefer you die than
Okay.
seeing you alive.
Okay, let's take a mother. She's carried this child for 9 months, breastfed him, brought him up, and then he gets hooked on drugs and he disappears for days on end. Do you have any idea what she's going through? First of all, that woman doesn't sleep.
True.
Secondly, she doesn't eat. Every time she hears a police van or an ambulance, she thinks it's her little boy. So she sits there on tenterhooks, never knowing when the call is going to come to say that he's dead or this or that or the other. The other thing is, when her child has a good relationship with the drug dealer and the dealer gives the child drugs on Skoloto and the child can't pay, you think the dealer doesn't know where they live? He comes and terrorizes the mother. That's why sometimes she will say, I wish you were dead, then every Sunday I could come and visit your grave.
Yeah, my name is Dumelo Kubai, aka Tick AJ. This is the power of positivity. I think for now, for this particular show, we can close here. Then we're going to come back for the second episode where we'll speak about the solutions, how we can resolve this. And as someone who's a drug counselor, who's a recovery coach, you can tell us more about it. So far, since you've been working at Tranquility Clinic, how you guys have been doing, tell us more. How do we resolve such issues in South Africa? Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Dumelo Kuba, and today I was super blessed. I was chilling with Merelda Bashiri. We are out.
Thank you.
Power of positivity with TKJ.